Look, I think there is a gay and secular fascism in this country that wants to impose its will on the rest of us, is prepared to use violence, to use harassment. I think it is prepared to use the government if it can get control of it. I think that it is a very dangerous threat to anybody who believes in traditional religion.
You know, there's a man who, if he had his finger on the apocalypse button, would push it.
In defining marriage as between one man and one woman, I wish on a federal level that that's where we would go, because I don't support gay marriage. I'm not going to be out there judging individuals, sitting in a seat of judgment, telling them what they can and can't do, should and should not do, but I certainly can express my own opinion here and take actions that I believe would be best for traditional marriage, and that's casting my votes and speaking up for traditional marriage. That instrument, that it's the foundation of our society, is that strong family, and that's based on that traditional definition of marriage. So
many of our social institutions have been broken down.
But do you think homosexuality is equivalent to pedophilia?
Oh, of course not. No, of course not.
Well, this is what concerns you. This is what you did say about homosexuality. Quote, I feel homosexuality is an aberrant, unnatural, and sinful lifestyle. That's millions of Americans.
Tim, understand, when a Christian speaks of sin, a Christian says all of us are sinners. I'm a sinner. Everybody's a sinner. What one's sin is means it's missing the mark. It's missing the bullseye, the perfect point. I miss it every day. We all do. The perfection of God is seen in a marriage in which one man, one woman live together as a couple committed to each other as life partners. Now, even married couples don't do that perfectly. So sin is not some act of equating people. I support passage of a federal constitutional amendment that defines marriage as a union between one man and one woman, and I will do so as president. As Arkansas governor, I helped lead successful efforts passing a similar amendment in our state during the 2002 elections.
Under criticism for a speech in which she says homosexuals are destroying the United States and are more dangerous than terrorists. Republican State Representative Sally Kern was addressing a small audience when she was secretly recorded.
Studies show that no society that has totally embraced homosexuality has lasted more than a few decades. So it's the death knell for this country. I honestly think it's the biggest threat, even that our nation has, even more so than terrorism or Islam, which I think is a big threat. If you've got cancer or something in your little toe, you say, well, I'm just going to forget about it because the rest of it's fine. It spreads. Okay, and this stuff is deadly, and it's spreading, and it will destroy our young people. It will destroy this nation.
In the Bible, the term for this is not gay, it is not homosexual, it is sodomy. And sodomy speaks of a city in the ancient days where people were so gross they actually tried to rape angels. That's how bad they were. And God said, I've had all of this I can take, and he allowed Lot and his daughters to get out. His wife didn't really want to leave, and so 3 people escaped under the protection of angels, and the rest of the city was destroyed by fire and brimstone, sodomy. In all history, as far as I can tell, any nation that embraces this so-called lifestyle and legalizes it, celebrates it, protects it, is on the ash can of history. Every single one has gone into decline. There's not one that survived once this happens. And the institution of marriage is so important, and to cheapen it and degrade it in this fashion, and it's being done by a few non-elected judges, or elected judges, whichever, but by one vote majority in a couple of the states, it's opened the floodgates. And
thinks we need a constitutional amendment to protect the sanctity of marriage that guarantees that in America, the only marriage to be recognized is the marriage between a man and a woman in the house of God. There are so many things in America that have changed.
That should never change. And you listen to me. If it does, you can kiss this country goodbye.
Utter, absolute, asinine, idiotic stupidity of men marrying men. I've never seen a man in my life I wanted to marry. And I'm going to be blunt and plain. If one ever looks at me like that, I'm going to kill him and tell God he died. In case anybody doesn't know, God calls it an abomination. It's an abomination. It's an abomination. These ridiculous, utterly absurd district attorneys and judges and state Congress. Well, we don't know. They ought to have to marry a pig and live with them forever.
That a person can change their mind about what sexual preference they have out of a conviction, and all of a sudden now they're heterosexual and they like the opposite sex. Well, I can't change my mind about my race. That's an issue of creation. I'm going to always be black.